Commissioners of the City of Mount Juliet will be conducting a public hearing and considering the following on May 12th, 2025 at 6:15 at City Hall located at 2425 North Mount Juliet Road. An ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Code of Ordinance, Chapter 12, Fire Prevention and Protection, Emergency Service, Firework Article 1, 5, and 6. An ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Code and Ordinance, Chapter 30, Utility Division 1 through 12. An ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Code of Ordinance, Chapter 28, Traffic and Vehicle, Article 2, Traffic Commission, Section 2824. An ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Code of Ordinance, Chapter 4, Alcohol and Beverage Utility, Articles 1, 3, and 4. An ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024 and 2025 budget ordinance 2024 and 2025 to appropriate funds for the purchase of vehicles for the police department. An ordinance to amend the land use plan from medium density residential to multifamily residential for the property known as Tillman Place, located at 6235 Central Pike, map 97, parcel 13, map 76, parcel 53. An ordinance to amend the land use plan from neighborhood commercial to multifamily Wind Tree Pines townhomes, located at 764 Nonneville Road, map 54, parcel 114, 115, and 116. The public is the public is invited to attend comments, and we will open up the floor for any comments or citizen concerns. I don't see anybody coming in from the back. Okay, we will close citizen comments, and we will reconvene at 6:30. Thank you. Good afternoon. We can call this meeting to order. Today is May 12th, 2025. I hereby call this meeting to order for the Mount Juliet BOC. We have a quorum present pursuant to City Code 620-210. We will be proceeding to conduct the business of the Commissioner of Mount Juliet. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming to this meeting of the City of Mount Juliet. My name is Bill Trevette. On behalf of the Commission and the staff, I want to welcome you here tonight. Tennessee law gives every Tennessean the right to attend the City Commission meeting and to observe how their government is doing business. We appreciate that each of you take the time from your own personal schedules to be here tonight and how we govern our city and how it works. So with that, we will go ahead and without objection, I'll set the agenda. There's a motion.
I'd like to add an agenda item, Resolution 26-2024, a resolution in support of the research and development of a community recreational facility located on city-owned property on Clemens Road should not exceed $11 million. That's my motion to add.
Is there a second? Okay, the second. All right. Any discussion? All right. I'm sorry.
Do the vote.
Yep. Okay, we will go ahead and move the vote. All those in favor?
Where's it going to go on the agenda?
I'm sorry.
It can just go at the end of new business.
Go at the end of new business. Okay. Let's look here real quick.
Is that okay?
Yep, absolutely. That's great. Any more discussion?
Where's
So
it going?
11I.
Well, okay.
All right. If there's no more discussion, we'll go ahead and call to vote. All those in favor for the amendment,
Adding
adding the amendment for 11I, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain?
Because I've never seen the original resolution.
Okay.
That's the only reason. Well, it passed. I'll abstain just because I haven't seen it.
Okay. Thank you. At least you have a copy. All right, that passes. We also have a request to remove 10E, and we also have a request to remove 11A for definite for removal. Is that correct? 11A, and then remove 10E from consent. Excuse me. Without objection, we'll go ahead and set. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Back up. What are we removing?
10E, we're removing that from consent, and 11A.
Oh, we're removing.
Excuse me.
10E from consent.
10E from consent, that is correct. And then 11A, we're going to move for definite, for indefinite, excuse me.
No.
Did we get confirmation from staff or from the,
Okay, until 6/9 then.
okay. All right, so we'll move that to 6/9. Thank you. There was no confirmation that that was a request, so thank you. All right, is there any objection? Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and we'll set the agenda. We'll go ahead and we'll move over to the invocation and pledge. And I hand that over to our city manager. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, Board of Commissioners. Thanks for everybody coming tonight. I'll start with the invocation. If everybody will bow your heads with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather for this meeting, we seek your wisdom and guidance. Illuminate our minds so we may make decisions that align with your will. Help us to communicate effectively, respect different opinions, and remain united in our purpose. Let your Holy Spirit lead our discussions and grant us clarity in every matter. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, with that, we'll move on down. Move this over to citizen comments. In order to conduct an efficient business-like meeting, the commission has adopted rules how these meetings will be conducted. Primarily, these rules are designed to keep the meeting moving, assuring that all points of the views are heard and considered and provided for the common courtesy. During this time, anyone wishing to address the commission may do so by pursuing to the chapter Article 2, Section 2, Section 220 of the City Code for up to 3 minutes, although we ask that you wait until the mayor or vice mayor has recognized you. Also, we ask that you observe 3 simple rules when addressing the commission. At the beginning of your presentation, please tell us your name and address. Please address all the comments to the vice mayor tonight. If necessary, the vice mayor will ask someone to address your comments. However, the board is under no obligation to proceed to this request. Please avoid the use of improper language, profanity, or other inappropriate conduct. Once the citizens' inputs portion of this meeting is over, the commission will proceed with the remainder of the evening's agenda. You are welcome and encouraged to stay and watch the meeting. So with that, we'll open up the floor to citizen comments.
My family owns the property that is on your agenda tonight, Tillman Place. Just wanted to give you a little history on how we got here tonight. In early 24, our family decided to sell this property. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to be very involved in that sale. We want to be involved in the design because we didn't want to just sell property to the highest bidder. We wanted to do something that was good for Mount Juliet. We wanted to keep our neighbors in mind, that when we did that, we didn't want to be an extreme burden on traffic. So we got with the Gamble Design Collaborative and came up with our vision for this property. And after we did that, we interviewed potential buyers, and we settled on the Patterson Group, who you'll hear from here shortly. They share the same vision that we did. We didn't want to come in and just cram everything that we could on this property. Again, we wanted to keep our neighbors in mind, and we wanted to do something that Mount Juliet would be proud of. Our main farm is just a quarter of a mile down the road. We're staying there, so we don't want to do anything that is going to be too big of a burden on traffic. And we just want to do something that Mount Juliet will be proud of. And thank you for hearing us tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Joe Haddix, 2305 Klein Avenue. We do have a short presentation for projects 11C, 11D, 11E, which is related to the 6235 Central Pike. We can give that presentation now or when the project comes up on the agenda. I just thought I'd ask.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll probably just do it when the project comes up, if that's okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Okay, we will close citizen comments. Move on. I was told that I missed a line here, so we're going to go ahead and move back to approval of the minutes. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for 4/28/2025. Second. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor for approving the minutes for 4/28/2025 signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? That was unanimous. Thank you. All right. With that, we'll move over to commissioner reports. I'll start off with Commissioner Giles.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. It's good to be here tonight. Looks like a good audience. Thank you all for being here. I want to talk about this ride, Mount Juliet. We had a rain out 2 weeks ago, or almost 2 weeks ago, I guess. And so now our rain out date was May the 18th. So if you see up on the board, we can't emphasize enough, this is a family event. It's so much fun. It's free. Come ride your bike. The Volunteers and Biker's Choice on Lebanon Road, the bicycle store, they give a bike away at this event and we're talking about nice bikes if you've ever been to their store. And so for children that's up to 12 years old, they can register. So everybody has an opportunity at that age to win. So if you want to come out for something really fun, please come out. Some of you seen the video we did the other day, and I wish that we had thought about that before. And we had our police chief, Michael Mullins, and he was talking about the bicycle rodeo that's presented there. The police department does that, and it's so educational for kids and adults. So you'll see adults doing it too sometimes. So please come out and participate in this coming Sunday at 2 p.m. at Charlie Daniels Park. There's also an element of a fire truck that the kids get to follow when halfway through, when meets up with us on the route. So these flyers are out. It should be, I'm hopeful, a lot of people putting it on their social media, that kind of thing. So, and also give you a shout. Starbucks does coffee free, so you can come and get a free cup of coffee. So put out a shout for them. They've done this for us for many, many years. So it's a great day. It's a great event. So please come out and join us on that Sunday. And Vice Mayor, that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hefner?
No report.
Thank you, sir. And Commissioner Mullally?
Okay, and I too would like to invite everyone out. This is sponsored by Mount Juliet BPAC, which is the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee. I serve on it, is for the BOC appointed position, and Commissioner Giles is the chair. He chairs it. So we have events throughout the year. This is our biggest event here, and it's 10 years. This is our 10th annual event. So again, come a little early, and for the young kids, take advantage of the bike rodeo with police. They'll be holding there. So the weather right now looks really good. So hopefully that it'll be a really good day. So again, come out and enjoy, and we will meet at the back of Charlie Daniels Park and take the Cedar Creek Greenway around to Golden Bear, where it comes out at Tuscan Gardens. And so follow the fire truck around down Woodridge, come back through the Mount Juliet Middle School and back to the park. And then when we get back, we'll hold the drawing for the bicycle. And again, we thank the volunteers and the Biker's Choice for that. And it's a really nice, high quality bicycle too. It's not some cheap bicycle. It's very good quality. So please join us. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, it's kind of a little bit different up here tonight. Obviously, we're missing our mayor, so please bear with me as I get through some of these readings. I'll do my best to get through it, and if it makes it to YouTube and I become a big hit, it's all because of you. So thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, and also the folks that are online. I just finished up a meeting this past week with our Parks Board, and thank you to those staff members that are here tonight, as also the ones that were, part of those different boards out there. Do want to go ahead and just kind of throw this out there because I know it's coming up, but June 28th, Barry Wilmore, and I know that's a couple weeks out, but I want to make sure that we continue to promote this. It's our hometown hero. That's going to be sponsored by Volunteer State Bank, Huspeller Insurance. There's going to be t-shirts, refreshments. It's June 28th, Charlie Daniels at 11 a.m. I know it's going to be talked about, but we just want to get and continue on promoting that. Also, every week I see our first responders between our fire, our police, our EMS, and even our military men and women that are out there in uniform. Just want to continue to thank them for everything that they do to protect our community, our country, our state, and just want to give praise to them and just continue to put a hedge of protection over those and just pray for them for each and every day. So with that, that concludes my report. I'll hand it over to our city manager for 10 minutes. Thank you, Kenny.
Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Thanks, everybody, for coming tonight and those watching from home. I want to first start off by saying thank you to our entire city staff and our elected body and our citizens for combining to create such an awesome city. I think Mount Juliet sets us apart in lots of different ways. Still a small town in a lot of ways. Very proud of that. like to thank the Vice Mayor for mentioning Barry Wilmore, who went to high school here. If everybody's familiar with that name, it's Butch Wilmore. It's his nickname. He's an astronaut that you saw just come back from space. So he's our hometown hero. We've always been a patriotic city. You can tell that through our police departments on their patch. You can tell it just through everything we do when you drive through our city. And I think it speaks volumes about our pride that we have not only in our community, but in our country. And so with Mr. Wilmore coming, I've got a challenge I'd like to issue to our citizens and to all of our businesses, not just for today, not just for when he shows up, but going forward, is to post the American flag at your homes and your businesses. I'd love to see that. Our goal is to be the most patriotic city on the planet. We think we're already close to that, but we feel like there's still some work to do. I've got 2 flags at my house, so if somebody says they want a challenge, I'll just ask for one. If you can just do one, I'd be proud of that. And I know it's tough with the etiquette and all with the flags, but if you could do that, I think it'd be great. I think he would love that. I think our citizens would love that, and I think other communities could learn a lot from that as well. And if you get a chance to come out, and I can't remember the movie, I think it was Napoleon Dynamite, and I think it said either some gnarly jumps or some cool jumps or something like that. And you want to come out and see some really cool jumps, I'll be at the bike event, so might be some skint knees and elbows and things of that nature. So it is a lot of fun. It makes you realize just how quick that your skill sets for riding a bicycle have fallen if you haven't done it as often as you should have. So anyway, it's a little silly humor there, but would really love to see a lot of flags posted like I did when I was a kid, and a lot more patriotism, because I think we're extremely blessed. And God bless everybody, not only just our team, our elected body, but our citizens for making it such a great place. And thank you so much. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. All right, we'll move to the unfinished business for consent items. I'll go ahead and read through these. We'll start off. Also, I do apologize for anybody that has not got the agenda. It's also in the back in each corner of the metal baskets back there. So if you're online, it's also posted to the City of Mount Juliet's website. So please enjoy those packet here tonight. I believe it's a little over 300 pages. And I think the mayor always does a good job at telling us how long the meeting's going to be. So I'll try and keep the ball rolling for everybody. Unfinished business, 10A, an ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Code of Ordinances, Chapter 12, Fire Prevention and Protection, Emergency Service, Fireworks, Article 1, 5, and 6. This is sponsored by our city manager. Next one is 10B, an ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Code, an ordinance Chapter 30, Utilities Division 1 through 12. 10C, an ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Code, an ordinance Chapter 28, Traffic and Vehicle, Article 2, Traffic Commission, Section 2824. An ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Code of Ordinance, Chapter 4, Alcohol and Beverage, Article 1, 3, and 4. And that is the end of those. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Second. Any questions or concerns? If not, we'll take it to vote. All those in favor for approving the unfinished business consent agenda, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Thank you. All right, we'll move over to new business, starting on at 11B, an ordinance to rezone the property. I'm sorry. Oh, 10E. I thought we removed that. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. So, sorry, there's the 10E, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. An ordinance for 2024 to be approved, funded for the purchase of the vehicles for the police department. Second, okay. All those in favor, I'm sorry.
I have 2 amendments.
Oh, so excuse me. Let me turn on the mic for you. Thank you.
I just have 2 amendments from Dana and Deputy Chief Chandler. They are under the general fund section where it says insurance recoveries. It should be changed from $80,500 to $157,704. And then under transportation equipment, increase that to $694,204. And this is because 2 vehicles were recently in an accident and we got the insurance reimbursements for it. So it's just to increase both funds so the PD can purchase new vehicles.
Awesome.
Do you need a motion? Second on that?
Yep, is there a motion? A second? Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor of approving the ordinance signify by, I'm sorry, the amendment to the ordinance 10E, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you. Now I'm back on the original. Thank you. Make a motion to approve the amendment of 10E in ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024, 2025. Do I need to read off the exact numbers of all that? Would you like me to read that or no?
We already passed that section, so now you're
Okay.
just approving the
Just wanna make
ordinance
sure.
once amendment.
Okay, thank you. The budget, so I'll finish up. The budget ordinance 2024, 2025 to appropriate the funds for the purchase of the vehicle for the police department. Is there a motion? Second. Also, we had a second. All those in favor of approving 10E signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It was unanimous. Thank you. Appreciate you, all folks, keeping me in line here. So we'll move on to new business. An ordinance, actually, let me rephrase that. So we went ahead and we moved 11A, is that correct? So now we move on down to 11B. An ordinance to rezone the property located at 615 Rutland Drive, approximately 5 acres, map 78, parcel 10.07 from RS40 to CMU. There's a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? Go ahead, Commissioner.
So am I reading that correctly? The primary reason is to park commercial vehicles?
It's part of the reason. I think for the lot that has the house on it, it's all one lot now. He intends to split it into 2 lots. The lot with the house has some accessory buildings in the back, and that's where Bluebird would like to park. And then going to CMU zoning will allow him to do that. Secondly, the corner parcel, he just wants it. It's RS40 zoning right now, and the land use plan calls for mixed use there. So he just wants to get it to CMU zoning. It'll match the land use plan, and that corner makes more sense to be CMU than RS40. So maybe for marketing purposes, in the going forward is the reason behind that. But you're right. Part of the northern part where the house is, the intention is to park those trucks that you see along the railroad tracks now by the gas station on Mount Juliet Road, to get them over there.
Okay. Will they be blacktopping that or will that be gravel for how long?
If they're going to park the vehicles there, it'd have to be brought up to some type of commercial compliance. We would request that. Yes, we could request that. As of now, I don't think it is. No.
Do we need to make that motion or just,
Could add that condition, yeah.
okay. Because currently, right now, if we were to approve this, it'd be a gravel parking lot, then we
Yeah.
would not be following our
Right.
city ordinances, correct?
They're covered under some non-conforming like regs. They have to make significant improvements to the site before it all has to be brought into compliance. But it will be being used for commercial use then. So, in a typical scenario like that, when we have something like this, we would ask that parking be brought into compliance and things like that.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner.
Is this a temporary measure?
Sure.
Okay.
Seems like it.
So are these the Amazon trucks that keep
No,
parking around? We
no,
keep
Bluebird
chasing?
Roofing pickups and trucks.
Okay. Is there going to be any, because it's on Golden Bear, is there going to be anything that's going to, is he going to put any kind of landscaping buffer?
Not
That-
that I'm aware of at the moment, no.
So no,
They're visible from the road, but they're off, it's in the back of that lot. Behind the house.
can we request a landscape buffer? That's,
Yeah, with a rezone, just a rezone.
no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, when they change this to commercial, they're going to have to put a buffer because it abuts up to residential. There's not residential
unless they
there?
Put a lot of, unless they upgrade they have to go all the way with it. Our code is written, they gotta put 50% or more of the assessed current value of the improvements. So whatever it's worth today, if they put enough improvement into it to reach 50% of whatever it's worth today, then they have to come in and meet all of our commercial regs. But they do have some protection under the grandfather regs in our ordinance that says if you're just changing in use, changing, something like this, or it can remain until they go to improve it to 100%. Or fully.
Okay, well, the asphalt's it's not cheap.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. They would not have, like John just said, they would be essentially grandfathered in, locked in as a non-conforming use. So they would not have to change those things unless they expand or change their use.
Would that be to the house?
Correct. So they can continue to use it as residential right now because that's what it's currently being used as. So they can continue to use it as such for the house. Yes.
Okay.
Now, for the building that's close to the property line in the back, that can remain because it is a existing building. However, if they were to change that building substantially, then they would have to meet the setback requirements. But because it's existing right now, it can remain.
And I don't remember what we saw from the planning, but is there a residence that is abutting up to this parking lot?
There's residential on land.
I know, but is there a residence? Is there a house that someone's living in
I believe I have to look again, but
that's touching this parking lot? I mean, that's the contiguous with it, right?
The city manager has some comments here.
Yeah, it's just a point of clarification from our planner. I'm hoping that if this gets approved, that we could possibly put a condition on their request. They're a great business. We appreciate what they do, but I am excited to see the vehicles move from this particular location. It's a part of our downtown here, and they're nice looking vehicles, and I appreciate that, but I would like to see them move because simply they're in the right of way. I haven't communicated with them about this. It's just popped into my mind when Mr. John mentioned it. If you can make it conditional that if they do get the approval of the VLC for this tonight, and legal had to say whether or not we can do that or not, that they no longer park in the existing place. That way we don't end up with two places, just the new location. And I think they've committed to that, but I know we can make it a condition or not. In the right of way along the railroad tracks right here,
Okay.
by the Dunkin' Donuts. And again, they're nice looking vehicles. We appreciate their business, but I'm semi-excited that they're looking for a new location for them. What I'd hate to see is if they got a new location and
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking they were 18-wheelers.
they're more like
these are
SUVs,
just trucks.
pickup
Okay.
trucks.
Okay. I got you.
But they will look better somewhere else in downtown. I just didn't know if we can make that a condition or not of the approval for the new location, and only legal can answer that.
If the vehicles are currently legally parked there, then, I mean, they could continue to park them there. I don't know what that property is, or if I would assume they're legally parked there right now. Oh, okay. Well, then,
So I think what Kenny's saying is, but it would be after the improvements are made, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then the vehicles would have to be moved. But here's my thought on this. Here's my heart with this. Somebody's living out there, and all of a sudden we're gonna have all these cars in their door, and there's no buffer there. Whether they have to or not, I'm just telling you, if I was that homeowner, I would, we had to put buffers up Mount Juliet Road from the people living back there on Barrett. But yet, I just don't think that, I just feel like we need to respect someone else wherever that is over there. So I don't know. I don't know if I can vote for this. Vote for this because of that, Kenny.
Wait a minute. Go ahead, Commissioner. I'm sorry.
Is the applicant here? Anybody representing him?
I think so.
Or her?
Possible to.
I see something to the east. It just looks like pavement or gravel. I don't know if that's a house behind the trees there. If not, I don't really see a house on the property next to it, to the east. And to the west, of course, is Golden Bear. Can you see a house to the east? John?
To the east, no. There might be something to the north, but to me it looks, I don't know, there might be a barn or something there. 567 might have something on it to the north. To the east of this, it's all wooded, it looks like, and then you get into FedEx after that. And to the south of this is IR zoning.
With the
way
board,
our code's written is via the zoning, so regardless of of there being a house there, the fact that it's zoned RS40 would require screening.
would the board entertain if we defer this until we got some representation here to be able to speak in this, or is that something that we could do? Okay. I just want to see if the board would entertain it. So yeah, I'll make a motion to defer this for, I guess, the next meeting, which will be June 9th.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor for moving this to June 9th until we get representation, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Commissioner.
Hey, John. Can we get some indication when it comes back where they're going to split these? Because
Yeah. I've seen the plat preliminarily, so yeah. But basically it's that piece that hangs down.
yeah, but is it just make sure it's clear when it comes back that we know where the split's going to be.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We didn't even know that until later either.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, John.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on down to 11C, an ordinance to amend the land use plan for the property located at 6235 Central Pike, map 76, parcel 53, from the medium density residential to multifamily residential. I believe we have some representation. Is that correct? I need a motion. Second. All right, now we can open up the floor for representation. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Greg Gamble, and I'm with Gamble Design Collaborative. I'm a landscape architect, and I'm representing Patterson Homes. I have a brief presentation, I believe that staff has ready for us. Thank you. If you'd go to the next slide for me. This is a mixed residential master plan with townhomes and single-family homes for sale. The average lot size of the single-family homes is 22,600 square feet, and they are a transition to the larger homes to the north. The north area is where we are requesting an RS15 PUD, along with the 5 single-family lots on the western boundary. In the pocket on the south east, we are requesting an MR8 PUD. This is the area where the townhomes are designed on private streets with 2-car garages, with parking in a 22-foot driveway behind the garage and parallel parking on the street in front. We have been coordinating with the neighbor Shiloh Baptist Church, and we plan to construct a public street from Pleasant Grove Road to the western boundary of this master plan. Another public street will be constructed from Central Pike to connect to this new east-west public street. This provides 2 accesses from 2 different roadways. The rest of the streets within the master plan will be private. All of the roads, public and private, will have streetlights. We are providing a 10-foot sidewalk on Central Pike and have a 20-foot buffer around the boundaries of the master plan. On the next slide. The architecture of the homes represents the best of traditional Middle Tennessee architecture, classic styles with traditional design details that are timeless and do not result in dated neighborhood. These are homes that Patterson is currently building in Franklin and in Green Hills. One key element to point out in these photos is Patterson's sensitivity to make each home distinct and unique with little repetition of home elevations, not just in the single-family homes, but also in their townhomes. It's characteristic of a Patterson neighborhood to have homes that have unique identities with differentiating dormers, columns, roof pitches, and porches. On the next slide. The amenities of the master plan are centrally located and bring walking trails along a natural stream channel that runs through the property. In this area, the existing trees will be protected. As a result, the playground area will be buffered and provided shade on summer days. Several pocket parks are designed within the neighborhood for leisure activities. On the master plan, you will notice the topographic lines. These are the natural grades. The roadways and the townhomes are designed parallel to these topo lines. Next slide, please. Looking at the natural grades, there is a drop of approximately 60 feet from Central Pike to the stream buffer. Each townhome is designed with a 2-story elevation on one side and a 3-story elevation on the other, so that the roads can follow the natural grade and the architecture steps down the hill. You can see in this section, the townhomes that face Central Pike will be 2 stories along the road and will have a tuck-under garage off the alley in the rear. The home behind it will have a garage at the 2nd floor level and will have a 3-story elevation facing the next private street, and then so on down the hill. Next slide, please. The perspective rendering shows the architecture of the townhomes, the unique design of the front elevations, and the transition of the homes stepping down the hill. These elevations are not just an artistic impression, they are actual Patterson homes. It's important to note that due to the topography of the property, mixed-use commercial would meet significant challenges. Parking lots are required to be built with a maximum slope of 5%. ADA routes are required to be less than 5% slope, or they must have a ramp with a maximum slope of 8%. Both of these regulations present significant challenges for the development of commercial uses on this property. Next slide. The community amenities are planned to provide social opportunities where gatherings are planned and spontaneous. They are intentionally located around the stream corridor to connect residents to the natural beauty of the Central Park. We see this pavilion as an excellent opportunity for a bus stop as well as for picnics. Next slide. We are planning for families, and Patterson is providing a playground over 6,600 square feet with slides, swings, and play fort. The next slide. The proposed road improvements on Central Pike are an extension of and beyond what TDOT is planning to do with the interstate exchange. These improvements start where TDOT's improvements stop, adding an additional 200 feet of improved Central Pike. These 2 maps show the added turn lanes on Central Pike and Pleasant Grove Road, both with right and left turn lanes added. Patterson will install a traffic signal at this intersection, paid for by a contribution of $7,500 per home. Any remaining funds after the installation of the signal will be paid to the city. Next slide. This map shows the regional context. The traffic flow by the proposed development has 2 options traveling toward Mount Juliet Road, Pleasant Grove Road to the north and Central Pike to Providence Parkway to the south. And both of these routes avoid congested traffic south of Providence Parkway. Next slide. This map shows the request that the land use policy of the southern portion be amended to reflect multifamily residential. The current commercial policy promotes commercial high density and apartments. Due to the topographic constraints shown here, a majority of this property would be very difficult and costly to develop under commercial guidelines. Our plan is to step down the hill and use the existing terrain as a workable, lower intense approach for this property. Next slide. In short, our plan with off-site road improvements and access to 2 roadways offsets the traffic flow impacts. Our proposed pedestrian connectivity and open space amenities create a neighborhood with quality open space areas where neighbors can come together. Thank you. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the board? Commissioner Mullally?
I have a question about zoning. I guess I'll wait for the rezone vote on that. For the reading the notes, it was the base zoning, RS 30. I guess I'll save that for the the rezones discussion.
I don't know what's everybody's opinion on that.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay. All right. I'll save that.
I
One thing I'd like to say though, before we get into this, so I saw it up on here. His land use exhibit does not match this most recent submittal that y'all should have. Where they've got the single family coming down the western side here, that does not need to be rezoned or does not need a land use amendment to multifamily because it's going to be single family. It's already got medium density on it, so they're not asking for that portion.
So based off of what I read, so we need to modify that, is that correct?
What does it say on the agenda?
An ordinance to amend the land use plan for the property located at 6235 Central Pike, map 76, parcel 53, from medium density residential to multifamily residential.
That's correct.
That is correct. Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second, and we're still open for discussion. You wait, okay, Commissioner. All right, we're getting called to vote. All those in favor of approving 11C signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That was unanimous. All right, thank you. Move on down to 11D. An ordinance to annex into the corporate boundaries of the city of Mount Juliet approximately 15.8 acres, property located at 6235 Central Pike, map 76, parcel 53, located within the city boundaries, city urban growth boundaries. Is there a motion? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor for approving 11D signify by saying yay. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Unanimous. 11E, an ordinance to rezone approximately 34.14 acres of the property at 6235 Central Pike, map 76, parcel 53, and map 97, parcel 13, from Wilson County R1 and RS 40 to RM 8 PUD and RS 15 PUD, and to adopt the preliminary master development plan. Is there a second? Okay. Open for discussion.
I just, the driveway, the ingress and egress from Pleasant Grove Road, that has a sidewalk on both sides. Is that right?
Can we get representation up here, please? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That particular section of road does not have sidewalk on both sides at this time. That's partially just due to the constraint of the amount of land they have in that particular area. The thought being that should the parcel to the north redevelop, that sidewalk will get added. At
Which
that time.
makes sense. They'll have to put it in there.
There is one thing related to that, real minor on their site plan, handle it at FMDP, but that sidewalk that terminates on that side would need to get carried to the nearest intersection.
Okay,
So we're not just leaving people in the middle of the block.
sure. So I'm sure they're amenable to all of that. I also wanted to mention, and I liked your presentation too, sir, on how you did it. You know, I've talked about this many years ago, and now after 4 years, I'm back. I want to talk about it again. We had, at one point, we had an opportunity for some townhomes to be out here that had, and what's the correct terminology? Walkout terrace, is that correct? Is that what it's called? What do you call it when it's on the top floor?
Can you come up to the podium, sir, please? Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No,
I'm
you're
Wes
fine.
Patterson.
Address, please, sir.
2133 Hillsborough Valley Lane.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You were asking about like a back terrace out the
Yeah,
back.
what's
that-
it called
there's
exactly?
A balcony.
Okay.
Really, because it's really suspended.
Sure. But we talked about this during the meetings. A person could pick, obviously they're gonna have to pay for it. It's not cheap, I'm sure. But this is something that they've done like in Franklin and some places like that. So when someone, if they pre-bought, am I correct on that?
Resale, correct?
They could add this amenity, for better words, to their townhome. And I don't know of any, but maybe y'all know some here already. I don't know of any like that. And while it's not for everyone, there's several people who do like that, you know, me. But anyway,
Yes,
So I'm excited that we're going to have a product that we've not had before that people could buy and they would be able to afford that, to do that amenity if they wanted it. So very impressive with these. I want to say that this group has been very, very supportive of Mount Juliet and what we wanted and what we needed. And I think it's a good project.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I will agree. The communication, the back and forth with just making sure that every question's answered. And I guess I'm gonna go back to the staff because it sounds like they went ahead and they are offering the $7,500 per home for a volunteer contribution minus the traffic light cost. Do we know what that cost is going to be for the traffic light? Just estimate.
That kind of depends in the staff report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see if that works better for you. Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
It's my fault.
There's kind of two conditions for that traffic signal. One, actually, I suppose there's only one where they'd install it, and that's if Central Pike hasn't been widened when they're issuing their 60th and 120th CO. Because there's an extra beacon attached to that signal to address the sight distance concerns at that intersection, it's going to be a little more expensive, where a three-legged intersection could be a bit over $500,000. It'd be one of the more expensive three-legged signals.
Okay. I'm just sitting there thinking if there's going to be any additional cost back to the city if that road is widening for future, or would that automatically go back towards
if the
Central Pike
signal's not
widening for that?
installed, they can't subtract that cost.
Sure.
So
Okay.
it'd still be our standard voluntary contribution.
Commissioner, go ahead.
I like the motion that the whatever's left over, whether they end up not putting the light in or whether they do, and then we give a credit. I'd like what's left over come back to city to go towards the 25 million interchange.
I'll second that.
I have a question. Would it be better used to go toward that? Because we're not set to make another payment to them for a few years, or would it be better used toward the widening of Pleasant Grove?
Well, I think it's all going to come out of the same bucket.
Do you have an opinion on that? As far as where to apply it? Is Matt still here? Okay.
Thank you, sir, for coming up. Appreciate you.
What-
I'm going to do my best to turn off some of these green lights up here so I don't mess this up.
Yeah, Matthew White, Public Works Director. Yeah, like Scott said, that both the money's coming out of the same general fund bucket. So either way, it doesn't matter to me, either project. Pleasant Grove Road will be spending city. We already gave TDOT $5 million for the interchange. We won't be giving the rest of the $25 million until probably 2030. Pleasant Grove Road it's all city funded at this point. So we'll be spending money faster than we will at the interchange. So it's really up to you guys. I don't know their timeline for development either. So,
Right.
I just really, either way, it's all the same bucket of money.
Yeah, it's the same bucket of money. We're just replenishing what we've already spent out on the 25. So we take that money that we've saved and put it towards at Public Work Director's discretion. It's the same, it's just financial gymnastics, I guess. You're just moving it from one pocket to the other. But I'd like that $25 million repaid. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's a pretty hefty commitment that the city put forward for that Central Pike interchange, and I want the developers to pay it back. Simple as that.
Well, there's still a motion on the table. We're still discussing. Any more discussion for this motion? Okay. All those in favor I'm sorry. Excuse me, Shane. Go ahead.
That just more verbiage than anything else. The if a traffic signal is installed, we would just like to ask you guys to note that the price of the signal will be established whenever the developer places their letter of credit at construction. So that will determine whatever is left that the city gets, if there's anything left.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner.
And would the timing of the payment per unit per home be paid at the time of the erosion?
Yes. And those per lot contributions would be paid at the issuance of the erosion control permit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to need somebody to help make sure we clear this up. So you're making a motion that the remaining amount of the contribution after the traffic light is constructed, the remaining amount will go back towards Central Pike $25 million bond. I'm sorry, $25 million contribution. Excuse me.
to the TDOT.
Did
Correct.
you guys get that over there, Sheila? Thank you. I appreciate the city recorder keeping us all in line.
Payable at the time of per unit per home.
Yes, and that's what I was saying was payable at construction, which was, I'm sorry, payable at erosion,
Payable at the issuance of the erosion control permit.
erosion control
I
permit.
think I've gotten these guys standard language at this point, so
All right.
saying it for the record.
So
We're good.
we're good there? Okay. All the,
John, I think Kenny's wanting to say something.
go ahead. Okay, yeah, we're getting a party up here. Okay, go ahead. All right, actually, so we have a motion, a second, and then we're still open. We did not vote for it yet.
Correct.
Okay, so our city manager, and then we'll hand it back over to,
Yeah, I want to give the commission a shout out because the commission's been focused for a lot of years. If everybody knows Central Pike at Pleasant Grove Road's a dangerous intersection. I live literally, if I can get River to pull the map back up, the one that showed the improvements on Central Pike. I didn't plan this, but a lot of the comments that were made tonight made good sense. So it may take him a second to get that up there. But we had a really bad crash this weekend. I think the police department worked that. And I'm going to step away from the mic for just a second. And we're at the intersection of Pleasant Grove and Central Pike. I can't see it. I'm too close to my
The
glasses.
hill.
Right down the bottom, right there with the.
You're right here.
Right go up.
You think I'd find I'm too close?
Central Pike.
Yeah, right here, basically. It just looks funny on the map, but Central Pike so bad that it took out the flashing lights that the commission, working with our engineering department, put up and the pole. And had this new subdivision been in place, there'd have been an access point to send the residents through because the road was blocked for some time. So it reminded me, for one, is Mr. Minton and the Tillman family. In my previous role as police chief, working with the city 35 years, I know what the vision's been for this commission to try to improve segments of Central Pike, in particular that intersection at Pleasant Grove Road. And the timing couldn't be better. Sadly, there was a crash there this weekend, but I think had this subdivision been in place already, so I'm hoping it's sooner than later that these improvements come along, because that helps a ton. And this sort of goes back to the comment a lot of us made. Development can be good for the community as well in situations like this, because it enables this elected body to put those resources towards things like greenways, parks, recreation, all the resources you see through the police department. Our entire city operates because of that collaborative effort. So I want to give you all a shout out, regardless of how you vote, and say that had that already been in place. So thank you for your vision. I hate that our signal got knocked down. We're working on trying to get that replaced. So I want to ask the citizens to be patient with us, but thankful for opportunities like this, and just wanted to give you all a shout out and also this opportunity, because I know how much thought they put into this, and I feel like they deserved a shout out, I guess you'd say. So thank you.
thank you, city manager. Go ahead, John. Do you have something you wanted to add?
Yes. I like this project as well.
Can you use the microphone if you don't mind, just so we can have it? Thank you, sir.
I just seeing things up here and on that, I just want to make sure that we got everything, what the rezone is going to be here. So they're asking to go from RS40 and R1 county.
Well, we still have the amendment up first. Can we,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
can we finish up the
Yeah.
amendment and then we can bring you back in? Is that okay?
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
You're awesome.
About a block from this development. So I travel Central Pike a lot, so I'll be looking for these improvements.
That's great to
Very
hear.
thankful for it.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we have the motion on the table. Was there any more discussion? Okay. And I'm gonna do my best to clean this up, but the motion on table to have the credit of the construction for the erosion control permit for the contributions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? We're good. And you guys have the right wording over there, is that correct? All right, thank you. Appreciate the cliff notes and the shorthand over here. Thank you. All right, now we're back on to the original ordinance. John, did you want to go ahead and bring us up?
Yes, I just want to, okay, so for the rezone, they're asking for the two base zones, they're asking for RS30 and RM8. I saw, yeah, up there it says RS15. That was a previous version, I think.
That what? Can you repeat that?
That RS15 up there, that should be, they're not asking for that, it's RS30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and here's the other thing. So they got RM8. I saw on some of the exhibits. They've got 8.1 units an acre, so they're just over the threshold for RM8. They need to go RM16 for the base zoning. So just that has to condition, could just add base zoning RM16. Because they're slightly above the threshold for the RM8. 2/10.
So that would be RM 16 versus 8.
RM8. I think the exhibit up there showed RM8. It needs to be RM16. Now, the number of units they're going to be allowed is the same because this PMDP solidifies that. It doesn't change that.
Okay.
RM16 is the denser district, but they exceed slightly the RM8 density.
So I'll make a motion to amend the RM16, I'm sorry, the RM8 to RM16
Yeah.
PUD
Yeah.
and the RS15 to RS30 PUD.
Yeah, those are yes, correct.
So that's my motion. There's a second. Thank you. On the floor. Any more discussion? Sorry, Commissioner. Go ahead, Commissioner.
This applies to the ordinance for the rezone and the plan ordinance, right? Okay.
Any more discussion for twice amended? All right. All those in favor for the RM16 and RS30 signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Now we're back on the original ordinance. Any more discussion? I actually have a couple questions myself. So who would like to go first? Ladies first. Go ahead, Commissioner.
All right.
Thank you, Art, for being a gentleman.
Let's see, I'm marking these off. No clubhouse, that's correct. The right turn lane is in there, okay. No commercial. All right, schools. Does the representative have a report on the school capacity? And what schools would be affected?
Good evening, Joe Addix, 2305 Klein Avenue. So with 137 units, we're anticipating 45 students. Students would be zoned for Springdale Elementary, which is just about right next door, West Wilson Middle, and Mount Juliet High School.
Do you have capacity records on that?
I do. So at Springdale, they currently have a available capacity of approximately 141 students, at least based on the last data I've received.
Do you have a percentage of capacity where they're currently at?
I can run the math for you
Okay.
real quick. So Springdale, approximately 85%.
Okay. West Wilson Middle?
West Wilson Middle are currently at 77%.
Okay, and Mount Juliet High School?
So that one was in the 80s, but 1 second. %. 83%.
83. Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
just so you know, when the schools individually reach 85%, the school goes out and starts looking for more land and starts planning the process. So in case you didn't know that. All right, so your timeline here is for construction is around the time of the interchange construction. What is the timeline here?
We'll be ahead of the interchange.
Ahead.
So timeline would be if project keeps progressing, we'd move right into construction drawings this year, break ground next year, first units delivered. That would be 25, 26, early 27, Q1
27.
27.
All right. I wanted to confirm with the fire chief that this is within the 5-mile radius of the new Station 3. He's gone? Okay.
It is.
I'm pretty
I
sure
can
it is.
confirm.
Okay.
It's actually within 5-mile radius as the crow flies of the Belinda Parkway station. the
Yeah,
new
I was
station,
wondering about that too.
Going right up the road. So.
All right. Thank you. That was all the questions I had for you, unless someone else has some. Mark that off. I didn't notice any of the conditions for planning I didn't notice any of the conditions in the ordinances for planning or public works. Is there anything in y'all's conditions that we need to adopt?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me go ahead and let our attorney answer that. That's okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
I believe we just need to add everything from the staff report to the ordinance. It looks like it wasn't copied over.
Can you use the microphone, sir? Sorry. Just want to keep everything
I
documented
think
for
I
me.
know better about this point. Just the conditions in the staff report need to be moved over. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so I would recommend that the board make a motion for all of the waivers, variances, and conditions found on agenda page numbers 220 through 223 be inputted into the ordinance under section 2.
A second.
No. Okay. So I'll make that motion.
Okay.
And then you second.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. So, and then what was that added into the what? The ordinance of this one right here of the
Item 11E, that ordinance
and item. Okay. 11E. Thank you.
under section 2.
Section 2. Awesome. All right. Is there any more discussion on that? Is staff good with that? Okay. Well, like we have this as open for floor. Yes, you can go ahead.
I'm sorry, it was just pertinent to the staff comments and conditions. I would like to note there was a variance granted to the clubhouse waiver by the planning commission. I would just like to get that in that same report if it wasn't already in there. I know y'all have to
Yeah.
vote on it too, but I just
Sure. So let me go back to staff on that one to get clarification on the clubhouse.
Correct.
So there was a variance.
Yeah.
So we need to, and you're saying that starts on page 220. Let me go down to there. Sorry, just want to make sure we.
Just
Go
to be
ahead.
clear, my suggested motion is really just for the purpose of copying the text over, not necessarily approving each one of those items.
Okay.
The text was just left out of the ordinance, so I'm just suggesting that you make a motion to put it into the ordinance.
Okay. Okay. So we're good there. So the motion's still on the table and we're still good. Okay, Commissioner Mullally.
I have a question. I'm confused about the clubhouse. Is there a clubhouse or is there not a clubhouse?
there's not a
There
clubhouse.
is not a club.
There's a pavilion that can serve as the gathering.
Okay.
All right. This motion still on the table. We're good. Any more discussion?
I'll just throw mine in now.
You'll throw yours in at the end. Okay.
That
You want
was
to
a
throw it
good
in
point
now?
about
or-
the students. They did make the statement that these were for sale. So it's fee simple ownership. Is that right? Somebody.
Yeah, they are for sale. We had the conversation fee simple lots versus the horizontal property regime structure.
So
So
which one is it?
horizontal property regime.
Okay, but at least it's for sale, so it's not,
Correct.
so he made that, I just want to point that out again. This is not for rentals, these are for sale. So they're ownership. Yes.
On
I'm
that,
sorry, it was my.
You're fine.
which is similar to
I thought she was
another
talking to me.
one we heard a couple of weeks ago for, they're really for lease ownership. And I'm comparing that, the horizontal verbiage you just said, because that was the verbiage of the Weller Life. Is that the same situation where they're purchased, but they're leased?
So I believe with the Weller project, they were actually going to create individual parcels or land for the town for their units, but they were actually going to own them all.
Right.
But they would be individual, right? In this case, they build them and sell them to individual homeowners.
Okay.
Okay. So now, thank you. So now, Third Amendment, that the warrants conditions of 220 to 223 be added in items 11E, section 2. We already have a motion. We have a second. We'll call to vote. All those in favor of the Third Amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. That was unanimous. Thank you. Now we're going to go back to the ordinance 3 times amendment. All right. So go ahead, Commissioner. Any more questions?
All right. We're back to the original.
We're back to the original ordinance of
All
11E.
right, I have one last thing, and I'm gonna throw it out there. I make a motion for the developer to add into the HOA bylaws and verbiage that there's a 10% rental cap, and no one owner can own more than 2 units or 2 homes. I know that this is recommended that we not do it, and I know the city can't control it, but I would like to see the developer on their own add that into their own bylaws. Oh, well,
Well,
that's a motion.
Okay, we haven't had a second.
Right.
Thank you. Go ahead and second it, and then we'll open up the floor. But I will say this, that I know the developer had already stated that he would make that commitment when we sat down. So I guess this is more of a, I guess just an open forum for them to go ahead and make that commitment, I guess, that way.
Yeah,
Even though we can't enforce it.
I would feel good about it.
I understand.
Okay, so we have a second. What,
West Patterson, 2133 Hillsborough Valley. If it's okay, some people ask for 20, some ask for, or this first time on 10. Ours are already written up in every one of our neighborhoods at 15. Is that okay to stay at 15? I don't know what.
that's okay with me.
Is that okay?
So if it's already in the policy, I mean, and we really can't enforce it. They're already making a commitment. It's in their
Yeah, we want
bylaws.
it too.
and
You
it's-
want it to?
Yes.
And it's in their CC, your CCRs and your bylaws. There's no way for us. I
Okay.
mean,
Well,
Since
if
you already got a
you
verbal
Want that
commitment.
too,
We
that's
do.
good with me. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so-
That's our commitment.
So would you be willing to just go ahead and remove that, or?
yes, I will cool my motion.
Are you okay with that? Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir, for making that public acknowledgement. Thank you, sir. I'm going to go back to the ordinance. It's been 3 times amended. Is there any more discussion? I'm trying to keep it up here. I'm telling you, this is fun. All these pretty lights up here for anybody. There's a lot of green lights, red lights. You got to keep everybody going. So anyways, Commissioner, I know you had your hand up earlier. Okay. Are we all good? Actually, I have some questions for Mr. Haddix, if that's okay. Just in your earlier statement, there was a discussion of 5% grading, and it was max at 8%. What is the current grading that you guys are asking for your variance for your ADA compliance?
Oh, we're not asking for a variance to ADA compliance. I think Greg was just making the reference about the steepness of the existing terrain
Okay.
and how this builder can conform their units to that slope.
Okay, that's what it was. It wasn't clear. It sounded like that we were, max was 8%, and he made it sound like there was going to be a variance. Go ahead from our Public Works.
Yeah, so because these are now public streets, there is a caveat in the ADA that sidewalks are allowed to follow the grade of a public street.
Okay,
And these streets, there's a condition in there that their streets are to be designed to the design standards for a residential access street. So that means we're capping what their maximum grades are.
Okay. Is there any suggestions or concerns from staff for the timing of the light to be installed? Obviously, since we have some concerns there with construction, along with visibility, any type of concerns, or do we have a timeline that we are asking the developer to start the traffic light?
I've got them preparing signal warrants at the 60th and 120th CO, which is kind of a midpoint and towards the end of their total unit counts. That will probably put them just a smidge ahead of the Central Pike widening, which would be a great time to get the signal installed.
Have we ever asked the developer to try and have something like this installed sooner, just because of the, like the actual,
I don't think
the actual roadway itself?
I don't think TDOT would let us put a signal that wasn't warranted in, although because there is a commitment to installing the signal as part of the interchange and winding project, they might be amenable to it. I'll look into that between first and second reading, if that's all right with you.
That'd be great. And again, if you could work with the developer to make sure that I'm just thinking about the construction coming in and out. That's going to be a lot of trucks slowing down. If there's a light there that we can already bring awareness, right? And then we can go ahead and have some additional signage out there, and again, to be able to slow down any hidden spots really is what it boils down to. So if you guys can go there, and then looks like, all right, I think that includes all my questions. Commissioner Mullally?
One more. What's the timeline for the road connection to Pleasant Grove?
Are you referring just as the second point of access, or
Yeah.
are we, okay. I'd defer to Joe, but that would be required prior to them passing 99 units.
99.
Yeah.
The road connection is included in the first phase of development, which is approximately.
Just want to make sure.
Sorry, we're getting you the exact.
80-ish.
Around 80.
Okay.
Around 80 units.
Phase 1.
It is in phase 1.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right. We have 11E ordinance as 3 times amended. All those in favor for approving 11E signify by saying aye. Aye. That was unanimous. Thank you. And
Thank
thank
you.
you, sir, for your time, and appreciate the rest of the staff there that came out tonight. Move on down to 11F, an ordinance to rezone the property known as Ward 2 Modern Mount Juliet headquarters located at 3073 Curd Road, approximately 1 acre, map 54, parcel 90 from RS20 to CNS. Is there a second? Open the floor for a discussion. All right. It looks like we've got Commissioner Mullally. I'm sorry, Commissioner Hefner. I apologize.
So the CNS is called out on our future land use. Is that correct? I noticed there's some neighborhood commercial. Am I understanding this is going to be an office?
Yes. I believe also the applicant has a presentation as well, so when we get to it.
Okay. I see there's some houses
There are.
surrounding
Yeah.
this. Is there going to be any construction or any high traffic? I mean, is it an office? Is it going to be?
Yeah, it's mainly just office space.
Can you state your name and address, sir,
Yes,
please?
definitely. My name is Lyle Oliveros, Virtue Modern, and I live at 4039 Planters Trail here in Mount Juliet. We'll be discussing 3073 Curd Road.
Thank you, sir.
And how many employees? How many?
Right now, we have 4 employees.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are my question.
Okay, Commissioner Mullally, thank you.
First I'd like to know why planning gave it a negative.
I think it was just same surrounding residential mainly.
All right, and then the front and back would be split. How would access be getting to the back part?
Yes, we have a presentation.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind us showing.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm the founder and CEO of Virtue Modern. We're a company now that's about 3 years old. We were downtown. We are a luxury home design company. We don't build the homes. We actually just are architects and designers. We have a total of 8 employees, but 4 live here in Middle Tennessee. What you're seeing here is actually what we're proposing. And I was downtown for 6 years and then starting the company, kind of subletting from another person downtown. And what we wanted to do is just kind of become, our vision is to be able to become Mount Juliet's kind of community architect. We'd like to be able to serve here. We'd also like to be able to kind of beautify this area as well. We looked at many sites along Mount Juliet Road and also the 70, but we don't really need a storefront like retail does. So what we were doing and talking to Commissioner Giles and working with the planning department is that we purchased this land just to create an office for ourselves and possibly some leasable space. One of the things that we looked at when we were doing this is that we want to be very open to creating, when we showed the plan last time, we didn't show any renderings. And when you get a plan, you get like a box that says proposed office space. And typically most developers at a low kind of market cost would take that square and just extrude it straight up. As you can see in our development, we are designers of luxury homes anywhere from $2 to $40 million. We are trying to get our feet here in Tennessee. 70% of our designs currently are now in Las Vegas and St. George, southern Utah. But we have 5 builds now here in Tennessee. So we're trying to place roots here. We moved here because the tax system is exactly the same, and we're trying to capture those who are moving into the community who are looking for a product that we kind of provide. What you see here on the screen is something that we designed that looks a lot more residential. We didn't make an extruded box. In fact, what we'd like to do is show this as almost a village scene or something that looks more like the community, that has gabled roofs, and they're broken up so they don't look like a warehouse or something that you would find probably on the 70. Our dream, and my dream actually, is to be able to create a really big space for our employees to kind of just enjoy to come to work. You can see that the space is a lot wider and a little bit larger. It's because we don't believe in just having people anchored to desks. We want them to be able to enjoy the space. I don't know if you guys ever watched MTV and they had skate parks inside their office. We're kind of that same mentality. If you want to park yourself on a couch and work on a laptop while maybe playing pickleball for lunch, that's kind of what we like to do.
I like that.
One of the also have a new employee.
Yeah, I mean we look at it differently. Our clients choose us because we like to have fun, and that's really how we like to do things.
All right. So what happens to the house behind it?
That would actually be taken down.
Taken down.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's go to the next slide if you guys wouldn't mind. So this is our site plan. You can see that we took the architecture or the office space that we're having, and we actually pushed it as far back as we could. We are now in compliance with all of the setbacks, 50 feet in the front, 30 in or I believe that's 20 in the back. And what we also did is we are giving the easement all the way back to Larry and Beverly in the back. In fact, I'm sorry, I don't know if you had a question or should I? Oh, sorry. And what we're trying to do as well is that you can see that we're using a green belt to be able to separate and also create some sort of buffer between the neighbors. We don't believe in creating these really tall fences to be able to create privacy. By pushing that back and doing the parking count is actually driven by the square footage that we're we're trying to establish. And that is just kind of complying with the city. The entrance, we're actually widening to 24 feet, only up to that parking location, and then adding rows of trees to that back home. And it also gives a buffer between all the homes on both sides. You can see all the green that we're proposing on each side, and then also a frontage to those neighbors at the bottom. Something that we're also looking at is that there won't be any large truck drop off here. It's essentially just people coming to the office. I'm also a professor at the Belmont University. I teach interior design and architecture. So we would also want to kind of teach our interns, the craft of architecture as well. So this is there's nothing better to have such a cool space where you can actually learn and kind of just, grow the next future of architects and designers.
I can see how your work environment would be very laid back. You
Yeah.
have a very relaxing voice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It fits.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Now,
very
what
much.
about, I noticed the sidewalk. Would
Yes.
you be putting in a sidewalk?
Yes. That's right.
Okay. All right. If this doesn't get approved,
Mm-hmm.
your area there is in violation of the zoning. So what would happen as far as that goes?
Just like the other one we discussed, it can remain until they
Change it?
change it.
Oh, I see.
Until they
Okay.
redevelop like this. So something like this would have to comply with all commercial regulations.
Right.
All the buffers and all that, that's all required, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
But-
see,
But if he wanted to occupy that house for like an office use, I believe he could do that. As long as it's not being improved, you could be used.
okay. And
We have a lot, it'd be like a lot of older buildings that get repurposed. It happens quite a bit. But the zoning would have to be changed to commercial to
Okay.
allow that.
and I see the land use supports it
Land use does.
already. So, okay. So if this is approved, your next move would be what? To submit a plan?
Yes. Yes. Now
Pay-
there is some time
preliminary-
in between that we can afford this build. Our company, in the 3 years, we've been very blessed to be able to do a lot of these great homes, but we have a really great plan to be able to finance this thing because we have really great clients who want us to succeed. So we are looking at a timeline of 2 years to be able to use it first and then to be able to develop this further. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I
We also have a few more slides, and we even
Oh.
created, one of the things we do here at Virtue Modern is we feel like we give our clients the gift of sight. So we actually prepared a video for you guys to be able to see how this will actually look and feel on the site. And this is also showing all the surrounding homes. We usually have fancy music, but I figured we would just kind of show it there. So again, we've got the sidewalk, we've got the green belt up front. We're showing trees, but I think maybe a like lower buffer, maybe something that may be better for the neighborhood. But again, what we're looking at are using, sustainable materials. We like using a lot of glass. The idea of not having a lot of light pollution for us is very important. We like the ability to be able to open lots of windows to kind of get prevailing winds through the space. And again, by separating it, you can see that peak is only as high as the neighbor's peak. So we're not showing any spaces that are 2-story. We're trying to be very responsible and good neighbors. We're trying to develop something that's really something that we'd be proud of and to be able to show off.
How many square feet?
This one is actually at 10,000 square feet.
Excuse me. I think we have some other questions from the other commissioners, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I just
Mr.
want
Giles?
to comment, you brought up the sidewalk. That is a 10-foot path. And so this is in my district over there. So what I'm envisioning is that the 10-foot path would be on the west side of the old Curd Road there, because then over on Golden Bear, the 10-foot path is on the west side, I think. Yes. Isn't that correct? Somebody from staff?
Right now, there's nothing in the plans for a side path on that section of Golden Bear. But within coming development, it didn't ask for it.
No,
It
there.
hasn't come across the plan yet.
Yeah, it
Looks like
it is. I think it is. That's the plan for the 10-foot to come, because it's going to come. Isn't it on that side, Matt?
So sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, when we widen Golden Bear, we're going to provide 10-foot pass on both sides of Golden Bear.
Okay. Because
That's
the only reason I said it's because there's that sidewalk down there next to school, but when all that gets redone.
Yeah, we'll have
But-
10-foot pass.
Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, so he sets the precedence now to put this 10-foot so that we can try to get that all the way up on the west side of Curd. And then on the opposite side, there's already a new sidewalk in some area up there. And I think that's 6 foot. So it probably remains 6 on that side to hook up with Dollar General down there. But that side would be that. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that in, and I appreciate them being willing to do that, because that's important for us down the road to be able for connectivity to that on that side.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hefner.
First off, I like the renderings
No, thank you.
and the
you.
flyover and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I noticed you didn't have any windows shown on those houses.
Oh, yeah, right now,
And here's my point.
yes, yes,
The parking lot
yes,
is, two of those parking lots, as you exit,
yes.
are going to be, if there's going to be any nighttime in and out, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
shine right into those windows. Can we put
Oh,
a
absolutely.
buffer
Yes.
that's a little bit
definitely.
maybe thicker than I think the pencil pin trees or whatever they're called, maybe just to block some of that light, and on the other side of the parking lot as well for the other house, just in the parking
Correct.
lot area, if we
Yeah.
can put some thicker
Shrubbery or-
landscaping
yeah.
buffers in there, so the headlights that are coming in and out aren't directly going into those houses,
Right.
because I'm sure there's windows.
We're also not showing that there's a existing fence line on the right side along that house. And then, but yeah, absolutely.
There's a fence line. Is
Mhm.
that on your property, your neighbor's
On
property?
the
or is it-
neighbor's property.
Okay.
And also, if we take the height of, your typical headlights, we could definitely get shrubbery that would block that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we need to codify that. I don't know that we can, but
No, that wouldn't be for this. That would be for the site plan later.
the site plan.
Yep.
I
You're on.
would say though, our code requires a much wider section, will require a wider 20-foot all around this because of the surrounding zoning. So it'll be more. than what's
Okay,
shown
they're
up
just
there.
not showing it
Yeah,
here.
just via our code will require more than what he's shown already.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Quick question. So you
Yes.
had talked briefly about the light pollution.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to staff on this. Any concerns there?
Our code requires 0 spill at property line adjacent to residential, so that's what he'd be held to. Like
Okay.
nothing can cross, no light bleed across the property line.
Okay. And since you're currently right now, like you're utilizing the space right now, have you
Yes.
talked with your neighbors at all and seen what kind of
Yes.
feedback you get with them?
Yes. In fact, to the back, we've got Larry and Beverly, have told them what we're trying to do. We've got, some few gentlemen, and not till today, where we kind of introduce ourselves and also just kind of told them what the plan is. We want to be very respectful. We chose the name Virtue Modern because there is an idea of being virtuous and just being transparent with all the things that we do.
What's your hours of operations going to be for this? Just obviously,
Oh, yeah,
what's
we're
your
9 to
visual?
5. Yeah, we're a 9 to 5 sort of
Okay.
group.
I'm just thinking about residential.
Yes.
Sometimes people do work. Sometimes people have to stay in office later and you want to bring in your clients that could be 7, 8 o'clock at night. So what
Yeah.
kind of business are we going to affect our neighbors?
Yes.
So,
Typically our clients, we meet them at their homes. It
Okay.
is a little bit of a trek. Most of our work is either Green Hills down to Brentwood and Franklin. Not saying that Mount Juliet wouldn't be that, but it would be far and in between.
that's great. All right. Any more discussion? All right. Thank you, sir, for
Yeah.
being here. And
Sure.
staff, do you guys have anything else? Okay, we're going to call to vote. All those in favor for the ordinance of 11F signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Move on to 11G. An ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet and Land Development Code Part A subdivision regulations, Article 4, requirements for the improvements, reservations and design.
Motion.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Okay. Open the floor for discussion. Okay,
I
call
got
to
my-
vote.
I called.
I'm sorry?
I've got all my, I called earlier, so I got all
Okay,
my
thank
questions
you.
answered.
All right. All those in favor for approving 11G signify by saying aye. Aye. That was unanimous. No opposed. Thank you. Move on down to 11H, an ordinance to amend the City of Mount Juliet Land Development Code Part B zoning regulations, Article 9, parking, loading, and access regulations. Is there a motion? We have a motion and second. Any discussion? We have a comment from our city attorney. Thank you, ma'am.
I have a suggested change on the first page of the ordinance under section 1, where it says section 9-106 on-street parking, and then subsection right at the bottom, 9-106.1 parking on existing public streets. It talks about not being able to park on the streets between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. without approval of the Traffic Commission. This is already found in a different section of our city code, and it's not recommended to repeat information in case later it is changed and you forget to go back and change it in both locations. So I like the existence of pointing out that we do have parking on existing streets, but I would suggest changing that sentence to parking on existing public streets is governed by the code of the City of Mount Juliet, basically telling people to reference back somewhere else.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second it. Okay, now we can open up for discussion. Commissioner Giles?
So I want to make, because I've been gone, obviously I want to make sure this is right. So can the police not give permission for someone if they're having a party or they're having something for those cars to stay on the street?
Yep. Up to 2
Later.
days. Yeah, or longer based off what the police department is needing, yeah.
Right.
The
That's
code
still in effect.
specifically says that the chief of police has the discretion to allow it. I don't
Okay.
know if it says for parties, but it does say that they have discretion to do that for certain, I don't
Well,
remember the verbiage,
Do
but
what?
After 1 a.m.
But he can give that permission. Yeah, okay.
yes.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, for parties, yeah.
All right.
Hey, we used to have all-night parties and play cards, and I'm serious. So I called the police. This was years ago because for some reason, most people in my family's getting older. They don't want to do it anymore, but no, I'm just kidding. So that's where I'm asking. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I understand. I love it. We're going to be all going to Commissioner Giles for a party, play cards. I love it.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's great. All right.
A lot of coffee.
Yes, and coffee. Any more discussion on this amended, once amended ordinance? Yep, and I'm going to go ahead and reread that if that's okay. I'm going to ask our attorney to read that. Is that okay? Or actually here, you already have it?
It's
Okay.
read.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, so the motion is okay, to update the parking on the existing public streets is governed by the code of the City of Mount Juliet in section 9-106.1. Is there a motion? Second. Okay. Any more discussion? All right, I'll call to vote. All those in favor of the amended of 11H signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. That passes. Okay, now we're back on the original ordinance of 11H. Any more discussion? If not, call to vote. All those in favor of approving 11H signify by saying aye. Aye. That was unanimous. All right, now we're down to 11I, and that was from Commissioner Hefner. I will give you the microphone just so we can get that taken care of.
Yes. So this was brought up earlier during our workshop. It was brought to our attention. So I brought this resolution before the board to vote. Currently, we have a resolution that was passed number 26 in the year 2024. So it's a resolution 26-2024 resolution in support of the research and development of a community recreational facility located on city-owned property on Clemens Road, should not exceed $11 million. I'm bringing this forward to amend that $11 million to a not to exceed $14 million to make that consistent with updated pricing estimates that we received earlier today from the workshop that was held.
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of the amendment, moving it from 11.2 and not to exceed 14 million. And I'm going to lean over to staff, make sure that they have the proper wording. Is that correct? Okay. Signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Thank you. 301. All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn. I'm sorry. Was there something that we missed, Commissioner?
Didn't we just vote on the amendment?
That was the change of 11I. That is correct.
Oh, so we voted on the amendment. She's correct. So we gotta
Okay, so
vote
now
on-
we got to go back to, okay, and then let me go back to
Is that true? Is that correct?
No, this is just an amendment to the entire.
here. Yeah,
So you're good.
yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, we're done.
It's a new
I have a
resolution.
question about,
Okay, hold on. Let me get the microphone. I'm sorry. I apologize. Want to make sure I get your comments in there. Go
I
ahead.
have a question about the verbiage where it talks about Olympic-sized pools and all that. Does that need to be changed?
I don't think so. Because it could change. That could be a moving,
Okay.
that would be changing it every other.
I think we're going to lean on the attorney on that one just to make sure that we don't.
Sorry, I haven't looked at
No,
this,
take your
so-
time.
I mean, if we know we're not going to do an Olympic-sized pool, then I suppose that there's no hurt in taking that verbiage out if that's what the board wishes to do.
Okay, well,
I mean, it does say that the gymnasium space will be used for, and then it goes on to list 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. So
yeah, well, I motion just to take that out, and then if the future boards want to make the outside pool Olympic size or whatever, I mean, they could,
Yeah. Could you just-
they would have that option.
Just the indoor pool.
Yeah,
would
for the
not-
indoor pool,
would
Yeah.
not be an Olympic size.
right.
I would just suggest taking out the words 2 Olympic size, so that way it just lists swimming pools for public use.
So just
Okay.
Strike that.
I'll motion that.
Okay. Is there any other? Okay, I'll second that. Is there any more discussion on that? Is there any other concerns? Go ahead, Commissioner.
Public use. Correct me if I'm wrong, what I've seen this presentation, one of the ways that they're wanting to fund it is through membership. Is that correct? Is that still considered public?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay. Any other questions, Commissioner? Okay, so the motion is to remove the 2 pools, or the 2 Olympic-sized pools, excuse me.
Yes, remove the words 2 Olympic size, and then that will just leave swimming pools remaining.
Okay. So that's the motion. Awesome. We good there with staff? Awesome. All those in favor of the updated verbiage signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? 301. And any more? Okay, now we got to go back to, no, we don't have to go back to the original, do we? We shouldn't have to because we're just amending.
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All right. There we go. Thank you, everyone. You guys have a great night. Drive safely.